Hey, you crazy cats! 42's live streams and videos are simply not available on vinyl. You will have to go to the YouTubes for that. So if you want content about British traditions and culture, cutting edge social commentary from an unapologetically patriotic perspective, along with a side order of madness you simply will not find anywhere else, then this is the place for you. And to all those early adapters in the chat, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That's how you get the good stuff and make sure you never miss a tasty treat. So with that being said and done, squeeze yourself in. Let's get into it. You know you want to. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Please. Oh, fuck, I went early. Now it's time to go. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Please delete as applicable because the internet is worldwide and time zones are indeed still a thing. Can I get a wee audio check in the chat here? Make sure you can actually all hear me. And I'll say a couple of hellos. And the comments were all flooding in there. I was panicking at the start. There was big, no comments were coming up and all, but it's all good now. Scott's Armour, first one in. What about you, chum? Glad to see you back, by the way. And I'm looking forward to, I believe you're on a stream on Sunday night, probably. I'm looking forward to that. Rory Herbert, what about you, chum? Glad to have you aboard. Bass, yes, the crazy cats. We like a bit of crazy cat. Quack, quack, it's a duck. XL Faking, what about you, sir? Glad to have you here. Raymond Papers in the house. It's a ducks. Tell me the audio is good. It's always good. Well, I like whenever the audio works. October, evening, brother. It's a duck. Streaky Bacon, what about you, chum? Hope all's well. Galman Sandwich in the house. England for the English, what about you, sir? Try to think. What was I going to do to start off with? Yes. Dear hellos and yes, being the dog. There is a bit coming up about being the dog. It's actually quite interesting and also a little bit tragic. How's that? Good evening, sir. So we're set on. Let's go. Glad to have you here and Rally and Run. And yes, what else was I going to say? A big welcome to anyone that has came along from Bonnie and Sanson's stream earlier. And if any of you are here that were not or do not regularly watch that stream, I would say that if you enjoy my stuff, you will enjoy their stuff. So that's a heads up one for you for earlier on a Saturday evening before us night dwellers do our thing. 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. Rags and Jack are having a stream. They've got the Woodlander on as a guest. That'll be a good show. Woodlander's always a good guest. And that's going to be followed up with Toffee's Sunday Night Raw. Now, Toffee's Raw stream used to be on a Monday night. Looks like it's moved to Sunday. It's all changed. I've got some inside info. I believe that Scott's Armour's going to be on that. Scott's is in the chat and he can tell me if I'm wrong. But be good to have a later on Sunday night stream with Scott's Armour because they were always good. And Toffee does a good stream as well, obviously. Steve Craze jumped in. Evening, sir. Glad to have you aboard. And thanks for showing my link in Bonnie and Sanson. How's that? I believe it did say good evening to you. What else have we got on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday? John Davison, 9 o'clock. Always a good blather. And Oh, and on the John Davison front, the second Friday in June is a poetry stream. I'm going to be on with John. There's another guest as well going to be on. We're going to read out some poetry. If you've got any poems that you would like read out that night, get something scribbled down on paper and send it in to John Davison, and we will get that read out. Ha. Billy Blogs, what about you, chum? Hashtag, hold on. Hashtag, good evening. I think I said hello to you, but I might not. But anyway, if I said hello to you earlier, then you're getting two hellos. Are you allowed to mention the dog on YouTube? That's something I'm not 100% sure about. But I am going to be having a bit of a conversation about the dog. So I'll figure that out as I go along. Yeah. Chris Walker, it's the ducks all over. Yes, Chris Walker is going to be our guest on the poetry stream with John Davison. That should be a good show. And as I say, this is not a show about professional poets. It's a show about us writing and doing our own stuff for our own people, and that involves all of you. This is an audience participation call out. Get something scribbled down on paper, get on to John Davison, and we will read it out. And the other thing that I have coming up, a show announcement. Sorry, just get this pulled up. Yep, there we go. This is going to work. I have a guest coming on shortly. Well, not tonight. I have a guest coming on the first Saturday in June. So next week, the show will be the Englishman, Irishman, Scotchman walked into the stream with Sansom and DJ. Really enjoyed doing that show. Apart from I've possibly got the fucking dates mixed up on it's maybe the week after that. I will check that tomorrow. But the first one, the first show after the first show in June, I'm having Al Mac on for a long form conversation. We've been sending emails back and forth. We're going to be talking about his work in the band, tours, life on the road, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be very interesting. The guy's got a couple of really good stories, and I'm really looking forward to that. So we've got that coming up. And the other thing that I like to give a shout out to is Dave's Waffle House. Streams at about 3 p.m. most days, depending on the situation with the comes with dental work and all that. So, but he does an hour and a half to 2 hours interacting with the chat. It's good crack. RPI, what about you, chum? Glad to have you aboard. Amanda Lee, Mannington Skywalker, and yep, RAF Scrantham is getting prepped to turn into a migration centre, and that will be coming up later on. Yeah, so I think that's everything. We have 21 in the house. It's all good. And I'm about to get organised for our first bit of information. I'm just checking the chat, checking the comments. Right, so we're going to be talking about the Dambusters Rave. which was 80 years ago this week. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the events that are going on to mark the event. And I just want to have a check on this to see on StreamYard. I think this is going to be well big enough. There's a picture of Lancaster. Right, just give us a second. Yep, that's well big enough to read. So, that's from the BBC, so it's obviously totally 100% accurate. But actually, we believe them on this. Don't think there's that much of a spin they could put on it. So, events are taking place to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the audacious World War II raids on German dams. The Dambusters raids were launched from RAF Scranton in Lancashire on the night of 16th, 17th of May, 1943. 8 out of the 19 bombers involved were shot down, 3 men were captured, 53 men were killed. Part of the commemorations will see a series of flypasts by the RAF Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, Lancaster bomber. Weather permitting, PA 474 will fly over the RAF Museum at Hendon on the 16th of May before returning to Lancashire for a tour of former Bomber Command airfields. There's the lads that did the job. We've got a video of one of those flypasts over Grantham that I found on YouTube. It's very good, so we'll be looking at that. Commanding officer of the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Squadron leader Mark Sudgeon said, "The Dambusters raid was one of the most audacious raids in the history of the Royal Air Force, and we at the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight are proud to commemorate the bravery, dedication, and sacrifice of all those involved." Other flypasts are also planned by BBFMF, which is based at RAF Coldensbury in Lancashire. Elsewhere, Ram Roast Dambusters Memorial is on show with a technical event at St Vincent's Hall in Grantham. A spokesperson for South Kingsteignton District Council said it was at St Vincent's Hall that Wing Commander Guy Gibson first learned that he was to lead the RAF's 617 Squadron on an audacious bombing raid to destroy 3 dams in the German industrial heartland. It was here too where the bouncing bomb inventor Sir Barnes Wales was waiting on the night of 16th May to hear the outcome, with Air Chief Marshal Sir Arthur Bomber Harris, head of Bomber Command, they added. And there's a picture of one of the badges. Lincoln Cathedral is hosting the band of the Royal Air Force College on Saturday evening with internationally renowned composer Sir Carl Jenkins joining the concert to conduct For the Fallen alongside Lancashire Cathedral Choir. The concert is raising funds for Lincoln Cathedral and RAF Music Charitable Trust. Lancashire Aviation Centre is also hosting an event on the 16th of May to mark the anniversary. So that's pretty much what's going on about the Dambusters and the anniversary. Right, I just want to check the comments. Elderly. Years ago, when I worked with the elderly, I knew a man who flew on Lancashire Bomber. He lied about his age so he could join up, and they didn't ask him his preference of pronouns. They were all heroes. They were. Yeah, we are going to be coming on that. Mannequin Skywalker was making the Airfix kits. Yeah, I used to do those too. That was very good fun. I really enjoyed that. Uh, I keep on meaning to get myself a Spitfire and start working on that, but I haven't actually got around it. But we shall see. Now, accept these cookies. Right. Yeah. I do have the correct link. Here we go. The beginning. Wing Commander Guy Gibson and his crew aboard the Irvo Lancaster A3G for the dams raid. There's a picture of the guys getting in the thing. Yeah. One second, I need to cough. Already, this is not a good. Fuck. Sansom, thank you, mate. You pulled me out of your fucking hole there. I was fucking muted for ages. Oops, sorry. Wouldn't be me if there wasn't the technical error. Right. Go over this again. Sorry. Oh, fuck. Right. On the night of 16 17 May 1943, 19 Lancashire bombers of 617 Squadron launched during the raid in Germany. Their targets were three dams in the Ruhr Valley, destruction of which was hoped would cause havoc in Germany and industrial heartland. For the raid, a specifically devised bouncing bomb had been created by the inventor Barnes Wallis. The bomb would skip over the water like a skimming stone, bouncing over the protective torpedo nets, hit the dams, then sink and explode. And 617 Squadron was specifically formed for the raid in March 1943 at RAF Scampton in Lancashire and consisted of airmen from Britain, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, as well as Americans serving in the Commonwealth Air Force. The Americans hadn't entered the war just yet. The first 19 Lancasters took off from RAF Scampton at 21:28 on the 16th of May, with the squadron suffering its first casualties soon after while flying over the Dutch coast. One plane was shot down while another struck an electricity pylon and crashed. These aircraft were flying over Holland, then Germany, at 100 feet at night without the type of radar that we currently have. The size of the fucking nuts on these guys is massive. And there's one guy was flying that low. He hit a fucking electricity pylon. And they had to fly that low to get to where they were going under the radar. The first target was Mourne Dam. Wing Commander Guy Gibson made the first attack, but his bomb exploded short. After the second attacking aircraft was shot down, Guy flew along the dam to draw the German fire. For his actions, Guy was later awarded the Victoria Cross. The Mourne Dam was finally breached on the fifth attack. Holy fuck. The guys had to go round and round until they got it. The second target was Eger Dam. This was breached on the fourth attempt, and being less well defended, was done so without loss. The Sorp Dam was the third target, but was only hit by two bombs, and the earthen construction of this dam proved harder to breach. A fourth dam in Enopy, a secondary target, was also attacked, but the single bomb failed to breach the dam. As a result of the breach of the Mourne and Eger dams, the German industry in the Ruhr Valley was disrupted, but the dams were soon repaired. Some 1,300 people were killed in the resulting flooding, the majority of them civilians and prisoners of war. I don't like collateral damage, but it is what it is. The daring and skillful nature of the raid had significant propaganda value, and the raid entered into British popular legend. It was later immortalised in the 1955 film The Dambusters. 8 aircraft were lost during the raid, 53 Commonwealth airmen killed, 27 are buried in CWGC, Reshwelt Forest, Commonwealth Graves Commission, Ratchfield Forest War Cemetery, and a further 21 in Bergen General Cemetery, Bergen Opsum War Cemetery, Renberg War Cemetery, Harlingen General Cemetery. 6 of the airmen were never found, but are commemorated on the Commonwealth Graves Commission Roddy Memorial for Missing in the UK. I want to go back and check the chat. Sorry, I'm just checking the chats. Toffee is telling me I can never laugh at his technical abilities again because I'm a spaz, because I muted myself. Well, I think, see, whenever I actually do streams, cancel them and leave them up and never turn up for them, then I'm up to your level of madness. To be fair, I don't really laugh at your technical stuff. I just comment on your thick fingers and stuff. And whenever we stop taking the piss out of each other, that's whenever we've got a problem. British bombers flew above my hometown and targeted populated areas too in the mid of World War II after the Nazi Blitz in 1940. But it was the darkest hour of war for my grandparents. No hard feelings. Boss, thank you. It's the way that war was fought was shit. You know, there was a small German blitz around Belfast as well, and it got to the stage of total war, and they were just blowing the fuck out of everything. But thanks for the sentiment. Right, a bit about the wing commander of the guy that was running the whole show. Guy Gibson was born in India in August 1918, but moved to England with his mother aged 6 when his parents separated. From a young age, Guy was interested in flying. He joined the RAF in 1936, and at the outbreak of war had reached the rank of flying officer. By March 41, Guy was a wing commander and highly experienced officer, having flown over 170 sorties with Bomber Command, Coastal Command, and the Night Fighter Squadron. He had also been awarded the Distinguished Service Order and the Distinguished Flying Cross and Bar. By 1943, Guy was selected to train and lead the newly formed 617 Squadron for Operation Chastel. For his leadership and courage during the operation, he received the Victoria Cross. Following the success of Operation Chastity, the King and Queen inspected Guy and 617 Squadron on the 27th of May. In June, Guy and all the other newly decorated members of 617 Squadron attended an investiture at Buckingham Palace, where the Queen presented Guy with his VC and the bar to his DSO. In August, Guy set off on a publicity tour of Canada and the USA, returning in December. Guy was put on restrictive duties in order to write a book, Enemy Coast Ahead, about his wartime experiences. In August 1944, he was posted to RAF Collinsplay. On the night of 1920 of September, Guy and his Navigator Squadron leader James Warlock were killed when their plane crashed near Steenbreen in the Netherlands after carrying out a bombing raid on the German town of Bremen. The local Dutch civilians organised a funeral for the two men, and they were laid to rest in Steenbreen and Kossen Roman Catholic Cemetery. That's another picture of the guys. Whenever it said he was born in India, I'm reckoning he was born in India to English parents. That were right there doing the colonial thing. So that's our first bit, and we'll check the chats. Joanne Rotten and the Meaning of Life. Welcome aboard. The the meaning of life and the answer to life, universe, and everything, as described in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, are two different things. However, very welcome aboard. I don't like the name thing. Good to see everybody sitting back in the room listening. They're an attentive audience. Cliff Richards was also born in India. This is true. And as always, Rory has got a personal connection. It happens every time. A German bomb exploded in my grandfather's garden in Sheffield during World War II, creating a huge crater. My father later turned it into a duck pond. I think your father's back garden might have been slightly bigger than our backyard to fit a duck pond in it. Guy Gibson was a paper onion. Yeah, that was my belief on the whole subject. Nah. What I'm going to talk about a little bit next is Wallis. So we've heard about what they're doing about the how they're commemorating it. We've got Flypast, we've got all that sort of stuff. We've heard about the guy that led the whole shebang. I want to talk a little bit about Wallis. Very little. Who is the guy that invented the super fancy bomb that you use to hit the dams? And I'm hitting the wrong buttons and everything here. Toffee, I'm getting as bad. Toffee, I am actually getting as bad as you. Here we go. Yep. Sir Barnes Wallis was born 26 September 1887, died 30th October 1979. He lived a long life. British aeronautical designer and military engineer who invented the innovative Dambuster bombs used in World War II. Wallis trained as a marine engineer before joining the airship department of Vickers Limited in 1913 as a designer. Vickers were pretty much the whole of the British industrial military complex. They designed all our machine guns and all that sort of stuff. Eventually turning to aircraft, he employed his geodite system in the Royal Air Force's Wellington bomber in World War II. His research into detonation effects led to inventing of a rotating bouncing bomb that, when dropped from the aircraft, skipped over the water and exploded while sinking to the base of the retaining wall of the dam. This type of bomb was used during World War II by the RAF. Right, that's just telling you the dams. Wallis produced not only the Dambuster bombs, but also the £12,000 Tall Boy and the £22,000 Grand Slam bombs. Holy fuck, I would not want to be anywhere close to wherever they went off. He was also responsible for the bombs that destroyed the German warship Teppes. This rotating bouncing bomb was actually in the design frame for the Teppes because they were worried about the Teppes getting out on the open sea and running amok in convoys. So they come up with this because it was always moored up in places where they had torpedo nets, so you couldn't get me a torpedo. And the idea was to bounce this, hit the side of the ship, roll down the side, and explode. The original design was for trying to hit the torpedoes. The Fee rocket sites, I'm guessing that's where the tall boys and shit come in. And much of the German aerial system. Wallis was the chief aeronautical research development of the British Aircraft Corporation at Welby, Surrey, from 1945 to 71. And in 71, he designed an aircraft that could fly 5 times the speed of sound and needed a runway of only 300 yards, 275 feet long. However, it was never built. I'm going to guess it was too expensive. He became a Fellow of the Royal Society in 1954 and was knighted in 1968. So there's a brief bit about him. He would have been quite highfalutin and have many talks with the British High Command and all about rockets, weapon systems and stuff. Just having a quick look through the chat. Bass is saying Coventry, Liverpool, London were struck. Two and many other places were struck. Yeah. Belfast got a bit of a pattern. There's actually bullet holes in Belfast city centre where they raked it with machine gun as well as dropping bombs. Or Sansom saying hello to Joanne Rotten. Grand Slam bomb was designed to cause a minor earthquake in order to destroy bridges, as it was too hard to hit bridges directly with conventional bombs. Thank you for the info. Yeah, geez, I would not like to be anywhere near that whenever it goes off. So we're getting on to the raid itself. Something else I'm going to add to this. Whenever I was actually looking up all the info for this, finding the actual information about the dam itself, I had to go to DuckDuckGo, because whenever you put it in, all the links you were getting were to news stories about stuff and not the actual raid itself, which I found a bit infuriating. Right, this is coming from Sky TV history. This is how good our system is. We'll have to go to fucking news station history department, because the stuff from the Imperial War Museum was absolutely crap. Right. 16th May 2023 marks the 8th anniversary of the military raid at Lightning Waller, partly thanks to the sternly patriotic film by Sir Marshall Ravegrew. The Dambusters occupy a special place in the British imagination. Amid the ugly atrocities of World War II, amid the vicious battles, indiscriminate massacre, and genocidal outrages, the Dambusters operation stands apart in our minds as a kind of swashbuckling adventure. Heroic example of British pluck with inanimate objects rather than human beings as the target. Well, this is part of it. We had one way of trying to stop the German factories, which was by obliterating whole cities, and this seemed like a better way, because without water you can't make steel. Without water you can't do a lot of industrial practices, and by destroying the dams, they need to prioritize what water they had left for the human beings, the German people, and it did have an effect on their war output. But the truth is, Operation Chase was a frighteningly dangerous mission. It required technology and pilot skills that had never been seen before. It overcame cynicism at the top levels of the British military, and would cost the lives of many RAF pilots, as well as many, many more civilians. Yet the goal is seen as worth it. The Ruhr Valley, with its powerful plants and dams, had long been regarded as a prime target for the British, and dealing with it, a crippling blow was calculated to cause significant damage to the Nazi war machine. The problem was the dams in the Ruhr were too resilient to be attacked by conventional bombs from the air. They were most vulnerable at their base, but torpedoes wouldn't work because the dams were shielded by fast underwater torpedo nets that would stop projectiles in their tracks. This is where lateral thinking engineer steps into the picture. Barnes Wallis had already made his mark in history aviation, having helped design airships like the R-100. Now he applied his analytical skills to to the vexing issues of the rear dams. Somehow explosives had to hit the dams exactly the right spot while overcoming the anti-torpedo defences. He hit upon the solution in his back garden, filling a bathtub with water and sending a set of marbles skimming across the surface. These marbles were prototypes that would become world famous as the bouncy bombs of the Dambusters raid. While many people may picture the bombs, codenamed Upkeep, as spherical, they were actually cylindrical, and they were real monsters to carry, with each Lancaster bombers having to be specially adapted to accommodate their formidable cargo. Each bomb was fixed into position using large calipers with a tough belt pressing against the heavy casing. The belt, attached to a motor, was there to apply backspin to the bomb just before release. To ensure it would bounce correctly, it would have to be spinning at precisely 500 revolutions per minute and then dropped at exactly 60 feet over the water while the plane was flying at 232 miles per hour. That's a lot of stuff to get that all come together. Yeah, wouldn't fancy being the person to have to manage that. Only then would the bomb be able to bounce nimbly across the water, avoid the torpedo nets, and then sink at the right spot to detonate the base of the dam. Oh, the other thing is the amount of water in the dam had to be correct as well, because it needed the bomb to make the initial opening and the pressure of the water to push on through. So in March and April, the dams didn't have enough water, and May had the right amount of water, and by June there was water evaporating off the top and being used, so it would be again too low. So there was it had to be the right warming night inside that month where the water levels were right. It was certainly bold, even outrageous plan, too bold for more conservative members of the military, including the RAF's infamous Bomber Harris, who dismissed Wall's plan as tripe and the maddest proposition he'd ever heard. Luckily, the operation was put in the hands of experienced daredevil of a pilot, the now legendary Guy Gibson. Despite only being in his mid-20s, with Commander Gibson, who'd idolised World War I flying ace as a boy, had already proven himself a superb pilot and was well placed to lead the Dambusters on their unprecedented mission. Following trial runs in England, the pilots departed on the raids in 3 waves. The trial runs were actually in Wales. They practiced this shit on a disused dam in Wales. In May 1943, there were 19 bombers involved in Operation Chase, with the Mourne, Elise, Sophie dams as their targets. There were problems almost immediately. One plane flew too low and actually skimmed the sea, which wrenched its bomb off. So that plane had to return to base. Pilots were killed while making their daring runs on the dams themselves, while still more perished on the way back from the mission. Well, this is the other thing. You blow shit up, and then the Luftwaffe are alerted to damn you all the way home. And the other thing is, this is too far of a raid for fighter cover. So they're out there doing this shit on their own. And all 53 of the 133 men we remember as Dambusters died during the mission. 2 of the target dams were destroyed, which caused devastating flooding, millions of tons of lost water. We've been over this. Estimates vary on how many died from the man-made tsunami, but it may have been as high as 1,600 people, including hundreds of civilians and POWs. Testimonies by survivors plant a frightening picture. One local boy later recalled how the sound of the water sounded like a great wind, and another survivor spoke of how his house was flooded but remained standing while everything else, trees, roads, gardens, were swept away. Humans and farm animals were drowned together. To this day, controversy surrounds the Dambusters raid. No shit. And Sky, you're part of it because I believe you could have told this story with a different slant. It's almost like you were going out of your way to find something to complain about. Some argue it wasn't a strategic success and did little lasting damage to the German war effort. Others counter that was an invaluable boost for Allied morale during the darkest years of the year. Either way, the place of the Dambusters is one of the most audacious and breathtaking military assaults in British history is assured. That bit at least is true. Now I want to have a look at the chat. See what you've all been saying. Edmund's right. What about you, chum? Glad to have you aboard. The old World War II hero and she's black, shocker. Oh, it's my MG arrived then. What's my opinion of Churchill as a politician in and after the war? My opinion of Churchill during the war is that had we had anyone else, we would have been like the French and become fucking cheese-eating surrender monkeys. I think Churchill is the only person that would have got us through that. And I believe that to be good. After the war, he was very quickly he very quickly lost an election. I don't know what he would have actually been like as a leader in peacetime, but I don't know. I don't have that much of an opinion of him post-war, but during the war, whenever he was prime minister, we needed him as prime minister. Amagee's on the look. Yeah, and she was looking. Our pals on the same page with me. Toffee hates Churchill. I don't know. He's a very controversial figure. That's one way of saying it. He divisive. Some people like him, some people don't. I think we needed him during the war. That's my opinion on him. And now we're going to have a little bit of a video interlude of the Flypast. This, before I actually pull this up, I got this from a YouTuber called Seymour. It's a decent video. The guy's got 584 subscribers. So if anybody wants to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. The link is in the description. he does. He has this, and the rest of the stuff seems to be like steam engines and stuff. So there you go, and we'll get this up. Here we go. There you go. That was the flyover over Grantham. I'll agree with me and our players on the same page. God save the king. We're two loyalists here. I'm just checking the. Oh, I need to check out what Rory Harbour's talking about here. Who was he replying to? Edmund. Roy Harbour's being asked if he had dinner. I'm guessing this is Churchill. And Roy has said no, but a good friend of mine's grandfather held the morning sword at his funeral at Westminster Abbey. This is Roy every goddamn time, and I love it. Mate, you can be as controversial. You can be as controversial here as you want. The one cravat is if you say something too bad in the chat, YouTube will ban you. Will not ban me over it. But you can be as controversial as you want. You can disagree with me. I've got the reason why we are not the left is because we can have disagreements about certain issues, and we can have disagreements about certain issues, and we don't fall out over it. We just have difference of opinions. It's it's not a problem. It would be more of a problem if we totally fell out. If we totally fell out every time we had a slightly different take on something. You know that. And the other thing is, particularly with history, there's nothing as a totally right or totally wrong. There is opinions, there's perspectives, there's all sorts of stuff, and yeah, we can have different things. Right. Toffee's swiping gauntlets about. Yep. Toffee's lobbing gauntlets into the thing. Oh, wait. Thank you, Somerset Ant. No. Now we're going to come on to something that is a bit controversial. Dambusters Dog Oh, hold on. How I actually presented it and got it up on the screen first? October saying we should never have been at war with Germany in the first place, which I agree is true. But Germany kept forgetting where their borders were. Which became problematic, to say the least. Dambusters Dog, Lancashire Council archaeologists oppose grave move. Now, the grave of a black Labrador dog mascot of 617 Squadron, owned by Wing Commander Guy Gibson. The dog was killed by a car on the 16th of May 1943, buried at midnight as his owner was leading his squadron on the attack against the Mahone and Edgar dams. I noticed the dog's name's not in here. Do any of you watch Rakita Law? Are you familiar with Umbrellas? Or do you remember the Kyle Rittenhouse court case where one of the prosecutors was called Binger with a B, Binger? Yeah. Well, this dog was called a racial slur that I will replace with Binger. This is true. Again, Arpa and I agree. I'm not a fan of Charles, but he is the king. Here's the thing. If you're a patriot, if you're a loyalist, that loyal bit means loyal to the crown, not the individual invested with the crown. And we get the king that we get. The other thing I will say is that our king or queen, because his mother Elizabeth was queen for a very long time, our kings and queens are apolitical. They do not get involved in politics. They can't propose laws. They are a rubber stamping mechanism. And the last king that we had that got involved with politics and got involved with parliament, they cut his fucking head off. And then we didn't have a king for approximately 40 years. We got Cromwell and his fucking iron sights. And then we got a king back again. And the deal done with the people and with Parliament was the king or queen would not get involved in politics. His job's not to make laws or anything. His job's to be there to turn up and greet other people and do things as head of state. And anybody that doesn't want the king, they're giving that job to the current prime minister. And whatever side of the political aisle you're on, you would not have wanted Tony Blair being head of state, or you would not have wanted Boris Johnson. You maybe would not have wanted either of them to be your head of state. This current shit show we've got, where we went through a new prime minister every other week, we would have had a new head of state every other week. And I would much rather that have a professional head of state where everything's set in place and you know who's coming next, than be giving it to whatever the electorate decide to do. Every 4 years. Somerset on. I don't know what Laura Lovecraft's cat is, but it was Binger is the word that YouTube will allow me to say, but the name of the dog began with an N on it. It was a black Labrador. It was black. So I'm pretty sure you can figure it out. So this is the memorial to the dog that was the mascot of the squadron. Now, council archaeologists in Lancashire have objected to plans to move the grave honouring the Dambusters dog from RAF Scrampton. The 617 Squadron mascot, a Labrador, died in the day of the famous bouncy bomb raid with the German Dams in 1843. The RAF Heritage Team have put in an application to move the grave and any remains to the squadron's Norfolk base. It comes amid a legal battle over Home Office plans to convert RAF Scampton into a migrant camp. Out of curiosity, why would the memorial and the grave not be safe there if it became a migrant camp? What is the panic? Squadron Wing Commander Guy Gibson used his dog's name, which is a racial slur, Binger, with a B, YouTube, with a B, Binger, as a code word to confirm the German dams had been breached during the famous Second World War raid. So whenever the dams actually broke, they were going, Binger, Binger. The black Labrador Retriever died the same night after being hit by a car, and his death was kept from the airmen as it was feared they might see it as a bad omen. In its application to West Lidsley District Council, the RAF Heritage Team raised concerns about preserving the dog's place of rest following the uncertainty surrounding Scrampton. So, they're now worried about the gravesite of a dog. That's where it's beginning to become a problem. They said it would be better to return the grave with the remains to 617 Squadron based at RAF Marpham and King's Lynn, which would take care of the story for the foreseeable future. However, Lancashire County Council has recommended that the local authority reject the application, expressing concerns about the potential impact on the site's heritage. Well, my friends, if you're worried about the heritage of the site, keep it as an Air Force base. It's really that simple. And if you don't need it as a working Air Force base, scale it back and give it to the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. Really simple. In a report, a representative wrote, the proposed development involves the assumption of the suspected zoological remains of a Labrador dog that belonged to Wing Commander Guy Gibson, and which acted as a mascot of 617 Squadron, who led the Dambusters raid while stationed at RAF Scrampton. Piecemeal developments such as this proposal could lead to the erosion and eventual loss of RAF Scrampton's heritage significance, which is of national and international importance. The application is open for public comments and it will be determined by the authority at a later date. I'm thinking possibly Actually, I want to check it. Just checking. Removing our history to please the Ding invaders, we will be a Muslim country in only a few decades. I'm trying to figure out what exactly the problem is. Because if they're turning it into a camp for migrants, the heritage of the place is gone already. And surely to God, the people who are worried about the remains going that affecting the heritage of it, should they not be arguing that it not be turned into a migration camp? Toffee's a Scouser and even hates John Lennon. We can agree on that. Your airport got named after John Lennon, and our one got named after George Best. I think we won on that one. And if any of you have got strong thoughts on this, I would consider writing into the consultation. Actually, let me get that back up again. One momento. This is recent. 1 second. Yep. Here we go, people. This might be controversial, but I'm going to say it. See this bit here? That I've just highlighted. Can you all see that? The application is open for public comments and will be determined by the authority at a later date. So, if you have any opinion on that RAF base, you can contact the government via the consultation document, and you can tell them. You know what this is? This is the government asking you. Now, I would say we're going to have 300,000 responses to that. Because see anybody that says we were never asked, see if they're not responding to this, they're lying. And see any political party or would-be political party that says we were never asked, but they never respond to any of this stuff, they're lying. Yes. I tell you what I'll do. Whenever I track it down and put it in my complaint, I'll talk about it. And they can keep on calling me racist, and I will keep on responding to everything I guess I can find. But see anybody that doesn't respond to this, they've given up the right to say they were never asked. Now, will the responses make any difference? That's debatable. I don't know if. Let me put it this way. ARPA I will tell you all next week. One second. Actually, let's see how hard this is to find. Bump, 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 bump. Let's see. One second. Right. RAF Scrampton. Right. We'll command and see that. We will put that into RAF Scrampton. Application. PUB. Application public comments. Right. RPA. It's going to take me more than 2 minutes to. It's going to take me more than two minutes to find that, so I'm not going to do it live. Yep. RPA. I will find that out. I'm on it. I will be on this like a fucking tramp on a sandwich. I will find out where the thing is, and I will do a video or a show on how to respond. Morning down under, Don Browning. Now, this thing with the Dog's Grave has brought something else to my mind. About where all this is going ahead. And this could actually wake some fuckers up and shake them into action. Because the Dog's Grave's not safe leaving them in place. Because there's going to be migrants about. Who do they think is going to tend our graves? And if things continue on their current trajectory, what's going to happen to the graveyards in this country? Because from 1970 until about 2010 or thereabouts, Emma G's home. Good. She was doing that whole work thing, although she did do a bit of working. Between 1970 and around about 2010, my grandfather's grave did not have a headstone. In fact, because he happened to be buried in the city cemetery in Belfast, which is in an area is in West Belfast and became nationalist controlled, and they broke all the Protestants' headstones. And in 1979, I'm going to share this. I'm not reading this whole article, I'm only reading a bit of it. This is from 2000. Yep. This was originally produced. This was brought out on the 14th of August 2008. What has happened that I can't see my comments anymore? All right, and what's happened? Right, we're fine. I'll be able to fix that. So, Sinn Féin Lord Mayor Tom Halliday is to host a unique open day in Belfast City Cemetery this weekend. Stephanie Bale finds out why he wants Protestants to flock to it and to reclaim the plots of their ancestors. It may seem a grave hobby to some, but Belfast Sinn Féin Lord Mayor is hoping this passion for cemeteries will deliver a unique peace dividend to Protestants across the province. Tom Hartley is an acknowledged expert in Belfast City Cemetery, having penned the book Written in Stone, which plots a fascinating history, most of which he unearthed through many hours of painstaking research. His enthusiasm has led him to conduct walking tours to the cemetery since the late 90s, have been a popular feature of the annual Feeding Bastard Festival in West Belfast. As a city councillor, Tom Hartley has tirelessly and successfully campaigned for years to have the cemetery tidied up. His latest crusade, however, is to encourage Protestants to return to it, both to enjoy its history and to reclaim the plots of their ancestors. With its location in the heart of nationalist West Belfast, the cemetery became out of bounds for Protestants during the Troubles. No shit. Now the Lord Mayor hopes that a special Visitors' Day to be held on 17th of August will help encourage people from all communities, but in particular Protestants, to start revisiting the cemetery. He explains, because it is West Belfast, Protestants were too frightened to visit the cemetery during the Troubles. Would that be because the local residents broke every Protestant headstone? Would that have something to do with it? Living in this new environment that we are today, we now hope to bring them back to the cemetery with this special event. The Lord Mayor revealed that it was his personal search for better understanding of the Protestant community that led him to his first visit to the city cemetery back in the mid-90s. In those days, Unionist politicians refused to meet with Sinn Féin, and so we would have met with Protestant church leaders to get the feeling for the Protestant community. All you had to do was go to the Protestant plot and look at all the broken headstones that had lay there since 1970. You've been walking past it for 30 fucking years. And I think that a big part of this outreach to bring Protestants back into that cemetery was because on your walking tours, people asked, what is this bit of the cemetery over here that has had no grass cut in 30 years, has had nothing done yet in 30 years, and has a lot of broken stone? And you were then forced to say, that's where the Protestants are buried. And that's why this initiative came about. Not because you had any worry about what was happening to those graves, but because it was making your people look bad. Right, hold on. I have messed up this whole thing. Zoom out. Uh, I have done some of the settings. This is not good. Uh, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Uh, right. We have a bit of a problem. We're having huge technical issues here. Uh, is the microphone muted? No, it's not. Settings. Recording hotkeys. Lights. No, I don't think that's going to do it. View. View. Oh, God. This is not good. Ah, we're back. Thank fuck. Yeah, Toffee's mom from Glasgow. Right, people, I am very sorry about that. I am now back. Uh, but so my question is, when our people have been replaced, what do they think is going to happen to our graves? Because it's going to be, they're not going to be tended. They're going to be destroyed. Unfortunately, not. Uh, Emma's in Emma's place, and I'm in my place, and I can't get no snuggles, and it's very sad. But I wish that was the issue. Uh, I think this may be or squeaky fridge. No fridge doors involved either. Uh, I think this may be something that we can begin to wake people up with, because whenever we have a problem with the grave of a dog, we're going to have problems with the graves of people. And it'll be very interesting to go to somewhere like Birmingham and and see what's happening in the areas that have been totally colonized. Uh, Budgie, thank you. Fuck. Oh, mate. I've done another mute. Birmingham's lost. Yes, it is. It's a shithole. Yes, it is. But it wasn't always a shithole. And it'd be interesting to see how our graveyards from the before times are going down there. And with that, I'm going to cheer everybody up with our strange sport. And I have got a good strange sport this week. Right. Oh dear. Hold on. Now I need to get out of full screen. Right. We're having more of these technical issues. Black pudding talking. Nope. No. And right. How do you exit full screen? How do you exit full screen on Chrome? Anybody know that? How do we exit full screen on Chrome? Because until we do that, we is fucked. Because I can't get the animal links. Don Brown saying escape. I hope that if I totally disappear, people, if I totally disappear, hang tight, and I will be back momentarily. Escape's not doing it. One second. I shall ask Chrome. Leave. Right. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm working on how to get this. Hold on. Put your cursor at the top center of the Chrome browser and unlock the any buttons. Yeah. Tab profiles help window. Right, hold on. Yo, I'm alright. I'm taking over from Toffee as chief technical issues person. Here we go. But we've got a good strange sport coming up. Right. Keep the guesses coming. I'm just getting this to the right bit. Right, I think from there I should do. Here we go. Did anybody have axe fighting in their bingo card?
He was fine the last time.
I'm just in a suit right now. That looks like it's going to tear. Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for the second one? Are you ready? Brett, are you ready? Start by.
He's a serious fighter. Do you hear that clarion steel bell? Hang on, Brent.
There we go. Full combat axe fighting. Who had that in their bingo card? Imagine the insurance. Yeah, it's going to cost a couple of quid. What the hell? Something's going nuts with my computer at the moment. But there we go. We're back in the land of the living. So there you go. There's a bit of axe fighting. And Linda Hunter's just arrived in. Good evening. Nah. Well, with a name like that, you would be doing some lightsaber. Right, what are we going to talk about next? And how long went this thing? Yes, what's coming up next is a little bit about the cheese rolling. This is coming from the Metro. We've got issues with the cheese rolling. Where do you hear this madness? Let me get this up. Historic Cheese Rolling Festival asked to use the vegan kind instead. Now let's see. That is definitely a bit small. We'll zoom this in. And we'll zoom it in again. For those of you who want the deep dive, and I'll give you the very quick overview of the Cooper's Hill cheese rolling thing. in order to preserve the rite of passage for grazing their animals on this land, they needed to be able to prove that at least one person had walked that land once a year. So we started the cheese rolling festival in order that they could go, yeah, last year on the date, blah, 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 on the last weekend in May, I was here, so was Jimmy, so was Johnny, so was Mary, so was somebody else. Yeah, we can all remember being here. We remember that it was that date because that's the day we had our cheese rolling competition, and it preserved the right to graze on that land. Now, anybody that wants a deep dive, there's a link in the description to last year's stream where I did the deep dive on it. So you have that. But anyway, let's see what's happening this year. Organisers of the famous annual cheese rolling competition have been asked to use vegan cheese. The Cooper's Hill Cheese Roll in Gloucester sees people travel from all over the country and sometimes even the world to chase a wheel of double Gloucester cheese down a 200-yard long hill. But now PETA has written a letter requesting for the cheese to be vegan at this year's tournament, which is set to begin on Monday. The animal welfare charity, Vice President of Vegan Cooperation Projects, Dawn Carr, wrote, "Dear cheese rollers, I'm writing on behalf of the people for the ethical treatment of animals, PETA, to urge Cooper's Hill to embrace a new tradition. Instead of the annual rolling of dairy cheese made by expelling fluid from the underside of an unwilling Gloucester cow, switch to vegan cheese, a move that would be better for the cows and the planet, and that would make the event even more inclusive. Dear PETA, go fuck yourself. We do not need to make the event more inclusive. We need to make it exclusive. In fact, we should consider banning anyone that is not from the local area. Leave behind the tired old traditions and roll out a new one. Far from suggesting anyone stop chasing a cheesy dream, we're simply encouraging you to update the nature of the cheese for everyone's benefit. Is it for the benefit of the people that currently produce the cheese? Is it for the benefit of the farmer that produces the milk that makes the cheese? No, it is not. So therefore, it is not for everyone's benefit. Cows are gentle, intelligent animals who, when given the chance, will nurture their young and form lifelong friendships with one another. But you will also find that more people are killed every year being crushed by cows than eaten by sharks. So I think you're not taking the figures into consideration whenever you say that they're placid animals. Pleasures denied them on dairy farms. Cows confined by the dairy industry are repeatedly, forcibly impregnated and separated from their bellowing calves so humans can loot their mammary secretions. And cow's milk is meant for baby cows, not humans, which is why people who consume dairy are at greater risk of developing heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and many other ailments. Are people supposed to drink milk made from almonds? I think not, you fucking lunatic. Add to all the well-documented environmental destruction caused by the raising of animals for their milk. Invented environmental destruction, dear, invented. Including methane, nitrous oxide, and carbon dioxide emissions, as well as water pollution from the slurry runoff. Those cows farting is what's making the fucking grass grow. It's all a nice cycle. Don't worry about it, chum. And it's clear to see that dairy harms us all. The letter continues. In contrast, vegan cheeses can be made from plants like cashews, oats, and soya and contain healthy fats but no cholesterol. First off, there's nothing wrong with cholesterol. And are you killing those plants? Are they living when you rip them from their natural environment and then cook with them? Still alive? Have you considered that? We're confident a kinder, nutritious, delicious, and pus-free vegan cheese would roll just as fast but wouldn't leave the trail of destruction caused by dairy. Peta would be happy to work with Smart Farm to produce a magnificent round of plant-based cheese for use for the event, perhaps with technical assistance from a major producer such as Baby Bell, Applewood, or Cathedral City. All mainstream dairy businesses that are helping to meet the booming demand for vegan cheeses and certainly have the know-how. Well, see, here's the thing. The cheese that they've been used has been produced by the same people for fucking hundreds of years. And we wish to continue that. We hope you'll agree it's time to cheese the day with a new cruelty-free cheese wheel, ensuring the only ones who may be hurt are the willing participants who take a tumble while chasing the delicious, alluring vegan cheese. It's not fucking delicious. It is not delicious. It is not alluring. You are outright lying. Down Cooper's Hill. It gets good, but organizers of the competition said they are too busy preparing for Monday's race to respond to the latter. Cheese rolling, now officially an extreme sport, is one of the world's most bizarre feats of strength events that it has been celebrated for centuries, despite the shadow of health and safety risks. A 9-pound wheel of double Gloucestershire cheese, which can take on speeds of more than 70 miles per hour, is released down the hill, and the competitors haul themselves down the slope. The first one to make it to the bottom wins the cheese. Every event sees people getting injured, with a number of broken bones and sprains, but many participants always return next year. So at least the cheese rolling people have gave the vegans the fuck you. Mannequin says tatties have souls. Barclay, evening, sir. Being vegan isn't realistic for survival. Outside of this modernity, cheesy peas. Carrot lives matter. Oh, there's now research regarding how certain plants become domesticated, almost like they made themselves easier to domesticate. Plants are living. Doing good, my man. Doing good. What about yourself? Right. So there we have that shit show. What are we on? We're on 145. One sec. Right. I'm going to attempt to do a cough and then unmute myself so that we're still. Right. Oh, there we go. I am back and live. My throat is going. We had a little bit I was going to do about ram roasting, but I'm going to drop that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick the link in the chat. And if anybody wants to come on for a chat, I'm up for doing that for a bit. But my eyes are going, my throat's going, and I'm not going to go into another story. Anybody's any questions, stick them in the chat. And we will have that. Perhaps a different downhill philosophy of a plant-based cheese could create unfair advantage and possibly cause more deaths as a result. This is true. At least we don't know what the vegan cheese would do, but we have a record of what the proper cheese does. We know where it we know what's going to do. We're just going to hit that 70 mile per hour, and we're good with it. Oh, I would not give my pet vegan food. I don't have any pets because I really don't want to be feeding pets and looking after them and all that sort of stuff. But if I did have a pet, I would give it like proper food. You know, like it's supposed to have. I'll tell you something else. See those see those plants that the vegans are eating? That's my fucking food. What's my food supposed to eat whenever they're eating all that? All my food. This is who does that? Who even does that? And I would also say that a cow eats grass, eats hay, it's all plants. It is plant-based food. That's where it comes from. That's how it grows. Yes. And the same, it's actually worse to give a dog vegan food than it is a person, because at least we have evolved to eat a mixture of meat, dairy, and plant. Those animals are all the animals have been on like a pure meat diet. Packet, that is fucking class. My food shits on vegan food. I need to get that in a t-shirt. Well, you do have quite a lot. You do have quite a lot of large dogs. The human brain requires fats to operate properly. There's no discussion to be had. This is why those vegans are so fucked in the head. Somerset Land, I totally agree. We are omnivorous. We need a balanced diet of all food groups. And besides that, bacon is good, steak is good, pork's good. Yeah, life without pork sausages wouldn't be worth living. Right. Right, people. I am going to, unless somebody jumps in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to wrap this up because, oh, Toffee's jumped in. Evening, Mucker, what about you?
Yes, lad. You're right, bro.
Oh yeah. Apart from the throat starting to die and a shitload of technical issues,
You're
see-
worse than me, mate. You can never say anything about my technical issues ever again.
yeah. To be
You were
fair,
sat there on mute for about 10 minutes earlier.
it wasn't.
We could see your mouse moving around the screen, and you could see you explaining. You were just silent.
It wasn't 10 minutes.
It was. It was exactly 10 minutes.
Was it? Oh, fuck.
No.
Sansom had to send me a fucking telegram to get me out of it. I swear to fuck. The telegram went and it was Sansom. What's he sending me a telegram for? I'm streaming. And you know the way whenever it comes up on your computer, you can see what it says. It says you're mute, and I'm off. Holy good fuck. Yeah.
I'm supposed to for ages, lad. How are you?
Not too bad, all things considered. What about yourself?
I am good. I've got a new hobby, mate, haven't I, that I've been going on about to everyone. I go kayaking these days. Kayaking on the Mersey. We all live in a yellow submarine.
Yes. Oh, here. See the kayak slalom thing from not the slalom, the white water rafting bit in the kayak in the 2012 Olympics. That course is still there. And you can go down and kayak there if you want.
Well, where is it? Round here?
No, the one in London from the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right, yeah, but so you're up and down the Mersey on a kayak.
To be honest, mate, I was very naive, or not even naive, stupid, to be more precise. I'd gone out the first time I went out. I just went out like naked kind of thing, just on the kayak, no life jacket or anything. And Steve Cray and Mannequin as well, bless him. Steve's got like a bit of experience with boating and whatnot.
Yeah.
And Mannequin put it politely and was like, get a life jacket. But Steve was like, in his typical Londoner fashion, get a fucking life jacket, you fucking cunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you what, mate, once you get out, so you got the Mersey, once you get out to the mouth of it, as it goes into the Irish Sea, the current doesn't have pick up and it starts sucking you out to sea. And it's not to be trifled with, like.
Yeah. If you're out if you're anywhere near the mouth where it filters out on the Irish Sea, and see once you hit that Irish Sea, it doesn't look, you're standing there looking out and it looks quite calm.
Yeah.
And then you realise that those waves are about fucking 7 foot.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Because you got them, there's wind turbines a little bit, I don't know how far out they are, maybe a couple of miles out. But once you start getting close to them, the current really starts picking up big time. Everyone would be wise to respect any kind of open body of water. And I learned my lesson big time. My shoulders, I got into a bit of a panic because I was pumping to try and get back. And my shoulders started hurting. I was thinking, shit, I might be in trouble here. But I managed to get back in, like.
Yeah.
Said I made a little joke. If no one hears from me in the next few days, call the Coast Guard because I'm probably floating about in the middle of the Irish Sea.
if you
drinking
can
my
get,
own piss and crying at a photo of me dogs.
if you can get a bit further inland on the Mersey, it would be a lot safer.
Yeah, it
Because
is. It is. I was daft to go. Well, to be honest, there's a marine lake on the Wirral. Rory, mate. Sorry, just let me finish this. There's a marine lake on the Wirral Peninsula, and apparently it's one of the biggest in the country. So you can go on there. Be a lot safer, less risk of death. Go ahead, Rory, mate. Hiya, brother.
Hello, Toffee. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you, sir.
Hello, and hello, 42. Yeah, on the subject of kayaking, yeah, I used to have a kayak. Used to take it down to the Dorset coast and around Swanage Bay and that area. That was a lot of fun.
Forgive my ignorance. Where's Dorset? Is that southeast, presumably?
No, it's southwest, Toffee.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cornwall ways?
Well, near Devon, yeah,
Devon.
that way. But there we go. What was
beautiful area?
Oh, it is. Yeah. I mean, no sort of big mountains or anything to climb, but lovely rolling hills, thatched cottages, that sort of thing. Anyway, 42. Back to your initial subject regarding World War II and the Dambusters.
yes,
I wanted to mention back in the late 1970s, I went to a lecture by Sir Douglas Bader, the fighter ace from World War II. And he mentioned, his exploits in the war. I mean, obviously, he was shot down and imprisoned in Germany. But strangely enough, it was very interesting because it was the time of apartheid. And he lived in South Africa for a while, and he was very pro-apartheid. He was saying, no, South Africa is much better that way around. Well, there we go. There's something.
Why wouldn't you be?
Because I mean, look at it now. Just look what's happened to it now. But yeah, obviously he wasn't in bomber command. He was in fighter command, and he was in a little bit of trouble over that with the big wings and that sort of thing, which were maybe not the best idea. But anyway, that's enough of that.
Whoever thought that finding the enemy and flying straight at them was going to be a good idea? I don't know. Although I don't know. I mean, what other choices do you have? Your choices at that point. Your choices are go find them and shoot them out of the sky, one way or another.
Well, absolutely, and I mean, we had a very good radar system, back during the Battle of Britain and World War II, and that helped us a lot to defeat the so-called enemy. But then again, we look at what happened with Bomber Command and Dresden and Cologne and most German cities. I mean, to me, that was pretty horrific. What we did.
But we had to get that marble factory in Dresden.
Well, yes, obviously, yeah, because
I went to join the RAF when I was 16. I went for the exam and that and got quite good marks, and then your life ended up taking a different path, unfortunately. To be honest, I'm scared of flying, so I don't even know why I tried to join.
That's an interesting topic. My brother was a commercial.
Did you know you were afraid of flying whenever you were 16? But
yeah, every time I've been on a plane, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Right.
How anyone can be fine with that is beyond me.
All right. Sorry, go ahead, Roy.
No, I was just going to mention 42. My brother was a commercial airline pilot all his life, basically, flying for Ryanair. And he built his own two-seater aerobatic aircraft. And he took me up in it once and did a few aerobatics. And I was like, oh my God, what's this 5G? And funny enough, the plane had a G meter on it. And he pulled this turn. It was going beep, beep, beep. And my stomach was sinking like you wouldn't believe. I thought, no, I can't stand that.
Have either of you lads ever flown in a helicopter? A helicopter's an experience. I'd say that's even worse than a plane. Rickety.
I've flown in quite a few helicopters, Toffee, in the army. Yeah. Probably the most interesting one was a Wasp helicopter, and it was over Salisbury Plain, and I was directing artillery fire. They have these various tanks and destroyed buildings on Salisbury Plain, and I was in the back seat, and what they would do is they'd pop up, they'd give you the coordinates of the target, and you'd relay them back to the artillery, and as soon as you did that, they would just pull, again, ridiculous aerobatics, go down below Salisbury Plain. When you got the command back from the guns, like five rounds, five for effect out, they'd pop up again, and then you'd watch the fall of shell. Then you'd have to redirect the artillery fire. It was crazy.
Here, Rory, were you ever Senelager?
So was I ever in Senelager?
Yeah, in Germany.
No.
I
was in Germany, but not Senelager.
Right. It wasn't exercise Iron Hammer. I can't remember the name of the exercise. Big exercise in Germany, early 80s, or actually it was probably
there were two.
Pardon?
Yeah, there were two exercises. Lionheart and Crusader.
Yeah. Well,
Crusader was the big one.
When did you leave? Sorry, 42. When did you leave the military, Raw? I've never even asked you. What year?
Sorry, me?
Yeah.
Oh, just before the Cold War ended, 88, 89.
Ah, right. Bloody hell, I was only 1 year old. Sorry to make you feel old.
Well, no, that's all right. That's no problem, Toffee. But no, I thought I'd done my duty for my country with the fall of communism. But
so when you left then, Raw, did you, I don't know, was that like just the end of it? Did you ever have any more dealings? Did you ever work with the military sort of thing in an unofficial capacity again?
Oh, only in connection with my old regiment. Yeah. Supporting them, not in a military capacity.
Are you still in touch with everyone, like your old brethren?
Oh, yes, certainly. Yeah, some of them. 42 knows about this with the Honourable Artillery Company and the Pikemen and Musketeers, who still parade every year in the Lord Mayor's show in London. So,
the reason I ask is because it's such a brotherhood that really does impress me. A few years ago, like an old distant uncle of mine died, who I didn't really know, to be honest. So the whole family attended the funeral, and he was in the Navy, and out of nowhere, we didn't know any of them, and like these 20 odd ex-servicemen arrived and like saluted them, and it was quite emotional. The brotherhood that you get in the services. I really wish I'd served the country. It's unfortunate that I didn't.
Well, that's interesting, Toffee, because my wife is a swim teacher, and one of the children she teaches, her mother's and father and grandfather, were in the same regiment, and I get these emails about who, when people have died and where the funeral is going to be, and I said, oh my gosh, it was down the road from me. I said, if I only knew you then, my wife and I would have definitely been at that funeral. But yes, there's always this link.
There was there was a guy that was ex-army. Is anybody else hearing that feedback?
Yeah, I just got that.
Right. Roy, can you?
It's gone
mute
now,
your-
mate.
It's gone now, right? There was a guy I seen on Facebook post. This guy who had ended up totally alone, estranged from his family, or there was no family left, or whatever. But he had served in the army, and they put out a thing about this serviceman had no family. There was nobody going to be come to the funeral. He was estranged from everyone, and there was something like about 2,000 people turned up. You know, just through Facebook and people hearing the story, and
It's
you all-
beautiful. Well, do you know
Yeah.
what? I believe anyone who's served should have have money for life. They should be paid a monthly wage. I mean this as well. Anyone who's served, they should get a monthly wage once he's retired. They should get a house. They should get all of that. That's the least we can do. But they just get left to rot. You know, lads, I'll tell you an anecdote. Obviously, I can't go into detail too much. Bit doxable. There's a lad from Liverpool. He had his leg and his arm blown off by an IED in Iraq. Because I'm that age where we were like, my age were like some of the first people into Iraq when it kicked off. And his eye, in fact, one of his eyes, all on his left side, so his leg, his arm, and his eye. He was only 18 when this happened to him. He's been left to absolutely rot. And a few years ago, there was a big charity fundraiser to get him a ramp outside his house, because obviously he's in a wheelchair. And it disgusted me. That man should be looked after. It didn't half anger me. He should be looked after. It's an absolute disgrace. It's sort of like, yeah, thanks for your service. Good luck with your PTSD and your injuries. 2-1. It's disgusting. The Americans, to a degree, respect their vets. We don't over here, I feel.
It depends. It's pretty much a postcode lottery toffee. And a lot of it is why he's not getting services, probably down to Liverpool City Council.
No, yeah, it will be down to Liverpool City Council, but I mean, it should be up to the government. He served his country, he's got injured, and he should be sorted out for life.
Yes, but the government, while the government has that responsibility, they disperse that responsibility via the city councils and the town councils.
And as you can imagine, the Liverpool City Council is a bit left wing.
This is where the problem is. But I'll tell you something. In my humble opinion, see the likes of that RAF base, Scrumpton, we were talking about, that's being turned into migrant camps.
Yeah.
I believe there should be army bases that are being disused. That whenever you retire from the army, you do a year in that camp with other squaddies that are demobbing at the same time, and you have your basics there, and you don't leave that place until you've got a job. You're settled in the community, and then you've got used to paying your own bills and doing all this. Because here's the problem for squaddies. A lot of them join at 16, 17, 18. They join the army. They remove themselves then obviously from their home community. They go to wherever the regiment is. And for probably 20 to somewhere between 10 and 20 years, everything they need is inside that camp. And one of the really good things about being in the army is, see whatever you're interested in, should it be Dungeons and Dragons, chess, sports, or whatever, there's somebody in your base that's interested in the same thing. because there's the scale of thing. And your work's in there, your friends are in there, your social life is in there, and you do that for X amount of years. Then all of a sudden, you're demobbed, you're back in Liverpool. The friends you had before you left have moved on with their life. You've got nothing in common with them. And the only thing that you do have left is you know how to drink.
Yeah.
And you then go to the pub. But if we had one that did say Liverpool, Manchester, surrounding areas, one that did Glasgow, Edinburgh, blah, 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 and you went to these places and then you assimilated out of those back in the civilian life, it would solve a hell of a lot of our problems with former soldiers and former Navy and former Air Force and all of that, because they're ripped out of a community and they're plucked back in the same way, and it's not good.
Yeah, well, I can't relate, obviously, because I was never in it, but you hear about the difficulty adjusting to life back on Civvy Street, as they say.
Well,
a lot of them end up homeless, drug and alcohol issues. Do you know what? Even it's a thing, unfortunate to say, a lot of them end up involved in crime in Liverpool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of serious criminals who are ex-army, who've had experience, who are useful for debt collecting and the like. You know what I mean?
Yep. I have a mate who was a full corporal in the Irish Guards, carried the Queen Mother's coffin. This is a switched on guy. Like he's not somebody that is unintelligent, isn't disciplined, any of that. Whenever he demobbed, he got a job in Civvy Street. He was working for Curry's, delivering stuff, and got his mortgage. He was in the house and got his wages and went, right, fuck, that's me, down the pub. And he was running about doing all that, spent all his money. Next month, same thing. Next month, same thing. Next month, he got a letter saying that he hadn't paid his mortgage. And he was like, what's this? What? Because he'd been used for all his adult life, that all his bills got took out and were paid at source, and hadn't figured out that whenever he got his wages, he needed to put this to pay for that, put this to pay for the other. And like I say, he's not thick. He just didn't know because he's
come out of the school system and gone straight into another organised system where everything's
and he was used all his time. See, whatever he got in his pay packet, that was his. He could spend that. So he did. All right, he got himself sorted out, and he's went, right, okay, blah blah. Didn't understand, and he got the arrears paid off and all that. But you know, if you've got people like him that were switched on, he was. The Guards are similar level to Paris Marines and the RAF regiment. Like if you have two full corporals from different regiments, the full corporal from the Guards is in charge because they're trained at a higher level. You know, so if you think about, whenever you think about somebody that's organized and can fall in that trap, what's it like for people that aren't organized?
Yeah,
you know, it's the system. The system we have for demobilizing people is, quite frankly, not fit for purpose. And then you've also got a problem of what services you get is a lottery of your city council, what they decide they want to provide, a mixture of that, what charities there are in the area, and it's just, it needs standardized.
Yeah. Hey, Rory.
Yes,
Can I ask you
sorry.
a question? Now I've got you. Might be a personal question, and don't answer if you don't want to. But I've always been interested. Is there anything that you've experienced during your time in the military? Oh, we dare me, dog. Do one, you. Sorry. Is there anything that haunts you, so to speak? Like anything that you've seen that's a bit that bothers you or anything? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yes, okay. There's one thing I can think of. I was serving in an underground, call it a Mexi shelter, during a Cold War exercise, and we were on the edge of a German wood, and the fog came down. You couldn't see anything. You had 4 hours, 4-man team in there. 3 of them were asleep. I was on watch, and I suddenly, I thought I'm falling asleep. So I went to light a cigarette, struck my match, and it lit up, and then immediately went out. I thought, well, what's wrong with that? Struck another one, same thing, and I suddenly realised, oh my gosh, we've run out of oxygen. So I immediately opened the hatch, went round to 3 others and shook them up and wake up, we've run out of oxygen. But yeah, we were very close to death. That and I'm not sure whether it was that exercise or another one, but yeah, I was nearly run over by 4 Leopard 2 tanks.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
But
fucking hell, it fascinates me all this because I just could not relate.
But 42.
Fascinating.
Thank you. But 42. I also wanted to mention about Lee Rigby, who died nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I watched a really nice video.
Rory, I sent it to 42 earlier, literally, didn't I, mate?
Yeah, and they were Ulstermen. There was an Ulster Pipers in there.
Oh,
and I thought, well, good for them. And they even had the Ulster flag.
Yep, I'll tell you why. You see, we'll get this up.
Apparently, they were an English band, an English loyalist band from a certain area. Someone corrected me on Telegram. I thought they were from Ulster.
Well, they were flying the Ulster flag.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, but apparently from
because they're loyalists.
Corby, from Corby, I think the area is called. I'm not too sure.
I need to make this bigger. I'll make it bigger and move it about. London Psalm Association, Drummer Lee Rigby Memorial Parade, 20th of May 2023, lest we forget. That parade was organised by the Psalm Association.
Get the video up that we're talking about. Can you get it up, 42? The band playing?
Yeah, that would be good. That's interesting about the Psalm Association, because as you know, 42, our grandfathers both served on the Psalm.
Right. The Psalm Association was founded in Northern Ireland. We have a place up in Newton Ards where we have a Psalm Heritage Centre, and we have a lot of stuff. We have trenches and stuff up there, make-up ones. And then they also have control of FIFA Wood, and they have been putting it back to the way it was on the 1st of July. And they have...
So presumably, these are Ulstermen in London.
Yep. Well, see, the Psalm Association have branches here, there, and everywhere. So, right across Northern Ireland. If people get together, they want to form an association. So this will be people that lived in England that know people still in Northern Ireland, know about the Psalm Association, and they've set up their branch, and they have that memorial parade every year.
There's a flute band in Liverpool. I don't know if it's them, like, but
there's a couple of flute bands in Liverpool. I'm not sure if I will see if I can get this up.
I mean, I first saw it on Telegram.
Yeah.
I might
Yeah.
send you that link.
Yeah,
Right.
gentlemen, I'll have to duck out with the dogs. I just wanted to jump on and chat to you because I haven't spoken to you for ages.
Yeah. But
Go on,
the
lads.
pro-
Lovely to chat to you, gentlemen. I shall enjoy the rest of the stream while I'm out on my moody bitch Gladys walk, who can't be walked any other time but night.
Good to chat to you too, Coffee.
Love you lots. See you later.
Rory, unfortunately, I can't share from Telegram.
Okay, never mind.
Whenever I put on the large screen. Hold on. Right, once I might be able to make this work. If I do that, no. As soon as I put it on, it goes to full screen. Then I don't have access to the buttons to get it shared. So unfortunately, I can't do that. I should have got it downloaded on the computer, but I hadn't thought we were going to do that.
Well, never mind 42. I just thought I'd mention it because
Right.
I thought it was an
Right.
an excellent respect for someone who doesn't get the mainstream media to talk about it anymore, and you know why. But there we go.
Oh, hold on. Hold this result.
Okay.
Right. Let's see. We might be able to get this. Share screen. No. Has that come up? It has. Good.
That looks good.
Go on to this
Yep.
and hit play. Oh, fuck. I'm now seeing in the comments that you can't hear it. Right. Let's see. I don't know how I got that on the Chrome tab. Yeah, no, fucked. That's unfortunate. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, Rory. That's a no. It is actually quite nice.
42.
Yep.
The volume was just rather low. That
Right.
was all.
You could hear it, but the volume was low. Right.
Yeah.
Hold on. Right. Let's try this. Boom, 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 boom. Right.
That's much better.
There we go. We got there in the end.
Well done. Well, I mean, what a fitting tribute that
Yeah.
was, playing "Abide with Me." Great hymn. I noticed that the flute band, they did a slightly different take at points. They played another few notes that I wasn't aware of, but I thought that made it much better, actually.
Well, they need to adjust it so as it works to a marching beat.
Right. Okay.
They tend to adjust most songs so as it actually fits in with a march. They speed stuff up, they slow stuff down, and they add little bits in.
Just a few other notes that came in. I thought, I don't remember when I sang "Abide with Me" that coming in, but there we go.
Yeah,
that happens.
I didn't hear a piccolo. I think that's a melody flute song. There's quite a bit of extra bits added in. Fancy it up your
I did see another video of it before the band started marching, and they were playing a different hymn. But there was a tiny little boy, he must have been about 6 or 7, and he had these little cymbals, tiny little, and he was banging them together, and he was so proud to be there. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Well, the Psalm Association are really good. They have they hold parades mostly around the 1st of July. A lot of the associations over here forked out and got uniforms and dummy guns and dummy rifles and whatnot, and they go and do their parade like that. It's and they tried to tell us that after that individual battles weren't remembered after 100 years, and we just sort of told the authorities were saying, no, you need to stop doing this. Individual battles don't get recognized after 100 years, and we were like, yeah, fuck you, and just kept on doing our thing.
Well, we have proven that on a previous stream, haven't we, 42?
Yes, we have. That Lee Rugby parade in London, that's a yearly event now, because I seen stuff going back to 2015 and stuff, I think. Let's see.
Well, I think his actual death was, 10-year anniversary of his death is actually on Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they did it over the weekend in his honour. And as you say, I think there are many others happening as well, which is a good thing. But the government doesn't seem to be concerned. And his boy is 10 years old now.
Yeah.
He died shortly after. Sorry, his father died shortly after he was born, apparently.
Yeah.
So yeah, good for his 10-year-old boy.
Yeah. And his mother, Lee Rigby's mother, keeps getting memorials to him taken down because they were put up by the wrong people.
What?
There are groups of people put memorials to Lee Rigby up at the site where it happened, and his mother goes to the council and has them removed because they were put there by the wrong people, and I don't want his memory associated with those rat bastard racists.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
But it's all in his memory. What on earth is wrong with that?
Yep. I honestly don't know, but she seems to have her own agenda. But there has been a running battle where stuff's been put down, like, and I'm talking about like marble stones implanted, like not some ramshackle, flowers and stuff taped on a lamppost type thing, like a proper memorial. And his mother went to council and went, no, we don't want that there.
Well, he was her husband. I think she has the right.
Oh no, it's not the wife, it's his mother.
Say again?
It's not his wife, it's Lee Rigby's mother.
Oh, the mother. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh well. I suppose. Well, I like what the son's doing. Let me just say that.
Yeah. Oh, I really like that. Actually, because I was scrolling through Facebook the other day, and that's where I seen that banner they put up from the advertisement for it. Yeah, I do agree with that. It does need marked and remembered.
Right. Well, there we go. It's gone 1:42.
Yep, it has.
I think I'm going to have to head to bed.
Yes, I'm going to get an outro on the go, and then I'm going to wrap this up.
Dream. Nice to hear Toffee again.
Yes, was nice to see him. Have him on. Even though he's giving me stick about my technical abilities this evening.
Oh, 42. Toffee gives me all sorts of stick.
Yeah.
So he even called me a Walter Mitty. Oh no, maybe it wasn't him, but no, he's called me all sorts of things. But I forgive him.
Oh, Here's the thing. See, whenever people stop bantering you, that's whenever you know you've got a problem. You can only banter like that whenever you genuinely like the person.
Well, that's very true. Anyway, I'll hop off and let you play your outro.
Yes, thank you very much for coming on. Always a pleasure chatting with you. And we'll probably see you next time. Right, the outro this week, Clan of Celts, Please Don't Take Me Home.
Okay, good night. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone in chat. It's been a nice evening.
Yep, featuring Al Mack, who I will be having on in conversation the first Saturday of June. Tom Brennan says she doesn't think Tuffy swore once. It could be true. I'm going to stick your comments up on the screen and play this out. And we'll be talking to this guy very soon.
Swinging, there was no school today. The bar had 116, so one was an extra day to play. With a jukebox live a pumping, the boys were here to stay. Blasting out its freedom songs in harmony this way. With some clientele can drink so well, get loud with angry tone. The landlord pulls them to one side and tells them to go home. The weekend's gone, they carry on, there is no time to lose. Another pint, another shot, protect upon the booze. The fight about the horses, the fight about the cards. Hold back the pistol, oh the pistol, make out that they're hard. Let me drop a tear for Ireland and sing them on a song. You'll be sure of the crack when you drink with the pack, so please don't send me home. Evening, the crack was still in flow. Some could stand and some were down, but none of them would go. The runners took the bets and the firemen poured the drink. The banter back and forth was fierce, but none of them could think. When tomorrow comes, there's no more fun. It's back to sight they'll drift. The heads are down, they'll have to craft to make up for the shift. As the week goes on, their thoughts will turn to another Monday club. When Friday comes, the tools go down. It's time to hit the pub. The fight about the horses, the fight about the cards. Hold back the pistol, though they're pissed to make out that they're hard. Let me drop a tear for Ireland and sing them on a song. You'll be sure of the crack when you drink with the pack, so please don't send me home. The horses and fight about the cards. Hold back the pistol, oh the pistol, make out that they're hard. Let me drop a cheer for Ireland and sing them on a song. You'll be sure of the crack when you drink with the pack, so please don't send me home. 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 Don't send me home.
All right, everybody, that's it for this week. Thank everybody for coming. The guests have been the guests. Guests have been the guests. I've been 42, and you lot in the chat have been fucking amazing as always. Thank you. Good night. God bless, and see us all next week. I'm out of here.